in cultivating more forgiveness, more acceptance, and more compassion towards myself, I see how it's so wonderfully overflowed into my parenting. And I acknowledge that in my ability to be softer to myself, I've been able to extend it out to my daughters. And I've been able to see from a larger lens from that cultivation of that practice. One example was last week. Both my girls, bikes have come on our path. We've been very blessed. We won one in a raffle. It was an adult bike, but we went back to the store and switched it for a kid's bike for my eldest daughter. My youngest daughter had a bike hand-me-down from their dad, and I found a bike free on the street. So I had set the intention a while ago of, we need bikes. I don't have the finance to buy bikes. Please bring them on my path. And they did. It's so exciting. So be aware of what your intentions are, what are your desires, and just hold them in your consciousness and be mindful not to fixate on your desires, but just to be mindful of, this is what I want. This is what I want. And allow the universe to provide it to you. It's a wonderful game to play in your inner consciousness, with softness and with compassion, but with clarity. And with that, my youngest wasn't on her bike. She kept going on her scooter. And it suddenly occurred to me that fear was stopping her from enjoying the bike, because she had fallen a couple of times, because she'd turned the corner maybe a little too fast and it had toppled the bike, or there was a little dip in the road and it unsettled her enough that she tipped over, even with her training wheels on. And I very calmly and slowly said, once I realized that that's what was stopping her from getting on her bike, I said, my love, we're always going to fall. It's how we catch ourselves that is the practice. And I had happened to have a coaching call myself, because I had hit a roadblock and I had, fallen off my bike, if you would, with my practice. And I needed a support coaching call to help me reframe, help me refocus. And they had witnessed that. They weren't in the call, of course, but they knew that I'd explained that I was going to have a call and I needed some privacy, and that I needed to work through some stuff and I needed some help. So I could nicely weave that in to her bike fear. I said, listen, just like Mama needed some help, just to help show her and guide her in how to move forwards and how to regain the track that I'm on, you are fine to get on that bike again. It's okay. You're going to fall, but you're going to learn how to catch yourself. And you're going to take a tumble every now and then, but the important thing is that every time we get back on, even when we fall, even when we get hurt, we still have the courage to get back on. And that's what makes us stronger. And I just let it be. And I got the bikes out of the garage, out of the basement. And then she was like, I want my bike. I was like, okay. I was like, oh my goodness, that was perfect. She heard me. And it was such a joy, the three of us cycling around the block and seeing her excitement of being back on the bike and her pride. And we would catch each other's eye on the bike ride every now and then, and I'd be like, good for you. And I just let her see that I was proud of her too. And it was such a beautiful moment. And I really cherished it. And seeing little ones on the bike is just such a cute, adorable image. How they're cycling along and they're going quite fast, faster than they would normally on foot. And that whole experience for themselves to experience that movement and the empowerment of riding. It was really such a gift. But I have cultivated that compassionate dialogue for myself, of realizing every step of the way how to speak and how to relate to myself with more softness. And when we're on the beginning of that path, it feels rather overwhelming and rather a large task to take on. But I encourage you to chip away at it. Catch yourself in moments where you don't feel you are the best, or feel you could be doing better, or just witnessing that inner dialogue that we have towards ourselves that can be quite harsh and quite critical and quite unforgiving. And begin to bear witness to that, no matter how uncomfortable it is. And sit with how you could rechannel that dialogue. If it can be softer, if it can be more gentle, and what that would look like. How would you parent yourself if you were a child? Because a lot of it is going back to reparenting ourselves in the ways that our parents weren't able to parent themselves due to their own parenting from their parents and their beyond. It's an opportunity to heal the past. And in doing so, we also have an opportunity to cultivate more forgiveness for our parents in the ways we feel they may not have been able to be there for us. Because after all, they are human beings too. And they also, just as we, did the best that they could with the tools that were available to them. But in this day and age, our consciousness is rising, and there is greater opportunity